Now for the best flavour of falafel, you want to take your dried chickpeas and just put them into a glass jar. That's a cup of chickpeas. So we cover the chickpeas at least a couple of inches above the peas themselves, and we're going to leave them to soak overnight, or at least 8 hours. Now you can use canned chickpeas as well, and they work perfectly well. Just make sure you drain all the moisture out of those chickpeas before you start making the falafel. Okay, let's get these falafels started. We've got 2 cups of our chickpeas that we rehydrated overnight. We pop those into a bowl. Now the secret to really good falafel is lots of flavour. Chickpeas are not great on their own. I mean, they are good, but look, this is a whole big bunch of parsley, and I'm just going to chop that up roughly, and that's going in the bowl as well. It doesn't have to be done too finely. We're just going to chop the whole lot up and pop it in, stalks and all. Actually, not right down to the tough stalks. Pop that in with our chickpeas. And flavour, flavour, flavour. I've got 4 nice bunches here, a nice great big lump of coriander, or cilantro, I think our Americans call it. And again, just roughly chopping those up. I'm just going to pop those in. And this is really what makes the flavour. The smell coming off that cilantro, that coriander, it's delicious. And I've got 2 brown onions here that I'm just going to cut up roughly. Again, it doesn't have to be too fine, and into our bowl. So now the onions, the chickpeas, and all the herbs are in there. We're just going to mix that through with our hands. Now guys, my big food processor's not working at the moment, so I'm going to use this smaller one, and I'm going to do mine in 2 batches, but it doesn't matter. Flavour, flavour, flavour. This is what's going to make the difference. All these herbs and spices. Just look at the colours of that. Now let's blitz that down. You can decide if you want it really fine or whether you want it fairly coarse. I prefer a fairly fine falafel. I think it fries up better. Now guys, look at the colours of that. That is what falafel should look like. It's coarse but reasonably fine. It's packed full of flavour. The texture is moist but reasonably dry. It'll hold together nicely, but we haven't finished yet. I've got 1 tablespoon of coriander seeds, whole seeds, not ground down. Just pop those in there. I've got, if I get it right, this is 1 tablespoon of seeds that I've ground down to a fine powder. Coriander again. I've got 1 tablespoon of cumin, or cumin as people call it. Pop that in there, and 1 tablespoon of ground cumin. A teaspoon and a half of regular salt, and a really healthy portion of ground pepper. Now I'm using ground white pepper here, but you can use ground black pepper, either will do. Now why did I use white pepper, you might ask? Because I'd run out of black, and white tastes really great anyway. Okay, now take a spoon and we'll start to mix those spices in with the rest of our mixture here. Now I'll just show you now, this is almost perfect, but I think it's a little bit, I don't know if you can see that there, but it's a little bit damp. Now the way to combat that, and that's because the herbs had a lot of moisture in them, is just to add about 1 tablespoon to 2 tablespoons. They're still damp, but let's test this one and cook it off. Now I've got a pan, a deep pan with about 3 inches of oil here, and I want to bring the temperature of this oil up to about 350, 375 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 175, 190 degrees Celsius. So I reckon that's around about 175 now. I test it with a little bit of bread. You see straight away that fizzled up, and that's going to cook nicely. Within 30-40 seconds that'll be brown. So that's now ready for the falafels. I'm just making my falafels by hand. I just roll them into a little almond shape and then just drop them into the oil. Okay, whilst it's bubbling away like that, I'm just going to use a slotted spoon to drop the rest of them in. Probably put 4 or 5 in at one time. Now if I just gently put a slotted spoon in there, I mean, look at those, they're holding together beautifully. They've got a lovely crusty outside. I'm going to pop those on some kitchen paper and let them drain, and I'm going to cook some more. Okay, I've fried off my falafel. They're beautiful and crisp on the outside. Let's just open that one up, and inside you've got all that flavour, and I can tell you that tastes delicious. That's the best falafel I've ever had. Now we're going to take our falafel, our salad, our tahini sauce. We're mixing all together, making one fantastic meal. Okay guys, firstly I'm going to make a quick tahini sauce, and I'm using the fresh tahini that I made earlier. You can buy shop bought tahini, but fresh is best. So I've got half a cup of tahini sauce there, and I'm just going to cut up a lemon, fresh lemon, and we want the juice from that lemon in the bowl first. So I've got all my lemon in there, and keep all the pith in there as well. And put my half a cup of tahini, and then I want half a cup of water in there as well. And now just take a fork and mix that through. And then we just want to season it with about half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of salt. And I'm just going to add 1/4 of a cup of a thick Greek yogurt into the mix as well. And then mix that together with a fork. And we've got this lovely thick dressing that we'll be using in our falafel. Right, to go with our falafel, our little pita pockets, we're going to make a little fresh salsa. Now a simple salsa is often best. We've got red onions, fresh tomatoes and cucumber. And I'm going to cut these up and dice them into little cubes. So we've diced our cucumber, our red onion and our tomatoes, or tomatoes as our American friends say. And then we're just going to pop those into a bowl together. And then we're just going to mix those through. Now I've left all the skin on the cucumber as well. It adds beautiful colour there. So we'll set this aside in the fridge, ready to use when our falafels are ready to construct. Okay guys, we've got our pita pockets now, and we're just going to cut a piece off the top, and I've opened up the pocket inside. Now this can get a little bit messy. We're going to take a couple of our falafels and pop them inside there, drop them into the bottom. And then we're going to take a spoonful of that salsa, that little salad salsa that we made, and pop that in there. And I want a big spoonful of the tahini sauce dressing. And then another couple of falafel. Some more salad. And again, our tahini sauce over the top of that. Now you take a look. That is a falafel that's going to taste absolutely delicious. So there is my take on a perfect falafel in homemade pita pockets with your homemade tahini. Now guys, you can buy tahini from the shop, doesn't matter, pitas you can also buy. But I'm going to try this one now, but not while you're watching, it's going to be messy. So guys, thank you for watching, subscribe to the channel, get over and watch the other videos, watch how we make the tahini, watch how we make the flatbreads, these little pita pockets. Be good. I'll see you next week. Take care. Hi everyone, welcome to Steve's Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make pita bread so we can make pita pockets. That's not easy to say. Now if you were with me the other day when we made the falafel, these are the pita breads that I used. Now you can buy your own pita breads in the supermarket, but they'll never taste as good as these ones. So let's show you now how to make wonderful pita bread.